Welcome to Two Sweet Lambruscos. How you doing, everyone? Paulie Firm here. It's that time again. Yes, the best time of the year. If you're between the ages of 18 and 35 and you live in Australia. I'm still blown away by my popularity on that wonderful continent. I don't know how it happened. I don't know why it's happening, but I'm grateful for it. So, new week, new podcast, and I'm going to talk about some things that happened this weekend that I did. I'm going to talk about some other random stuff, and hopefully you will like it. And if you don't, that's fine too. You don't have to listen to it. Go fuck yourself. So, I I was invited. Well, I wouldn't really say invited. I was dragged to a painting class on Sunday. Dulcie called me up and she was like, "Hey, what are you doing Sunday night?" And I was like, "I don't know." And in that brief moment, I couldn't think of something quickly enough to, have like an out, like a way out. She would have been like, "Oh, what are you doing Sunday night?" I could have been like, "Oh, I'm, speaking at this meeting, or I got this panel, and yada yada yada." I could have said anything other than nothing or I don't know. Because when you say nothing or I don't know to your significant other, it's like now you know what you're doing. Now, whatever their plan is, they're gonna put it into action. They're going for it, which she did. So she told me that she is on this committee at her work, and once a month on Sunday nights, they she plans this event for her and her coworkers, whoever wants to join her. And so she was like, "Oh, I have this committee, and we're doing this wine and painting class Sunday night, and I really want you to come with me." And in my head, I'm like, "Huh?" I'm like, "Wine and painting." Well, I don't drink, and I'm colorblind, so I can't think of something more appropriate to do for me uh, than painting and drinking wine. Yeah, sure. That sounds awesome. Let's go do it. And it was not awesome. It sucked. The lady who was the paint instructor who was teaching the class, like kept telling me I was like doing it wrong, and like she's like every time I tell the class to dip their brush in this color, you do it in another color, and she's like, it doesn't seem like you're taking this seriously. And by the way, like just to let you know, um, when we went there, when we were on our way there, she told me, she's like, "Oh, I think it'll be really funny if we don't tell anyone you're colorblind." And I'm like, "Yeah, all right, that is funny. I can roll with that. Maybe I can get some entertainment value out of this." And it was going fine until the instructor just, looked at me as some insolent, uh, like, I'm just gonna do the opposite of whatever you say, like not taking it seriously, kind of, devaluing her occupation, and that's fine. I don't give a shit what she thinks, but she was taking it very, very personally, which I also wouldn't give a shit about. But every now, like once she, uh, decided to say something about it, like it was just she just kept going at me. Like that's not the color. Why won't you pick the right color? Why won't you put your brush in the right color? Why aren't you painting the colors I'm telling you to paint? And everyone in the class is kind of like, what the fuck is going on? Like why don't you just listen to her? And Dulcie is like just fucking turning like she's trying so hard not to laugh. And and then eventually after like, 5 minutes of this art teacher like just giving me the business, um she goes, I don't know what your problem is, but I've taught blind kids how to paint, and they did a better job than you, and they can't see. And it was at that point where finally, like, Dulcie couldn't hold it in anymore, and she just started bursting out laughing. And the woman, the instructor, was like, "There's nothing funny about this. I'm taking time out of my Sunday and blah blah blah." It's like, bitch, we paid you. Like, what? We had to show up here, teach us how to paint. Like, like my girlfriend's work paid for this whole thing, and it's not cheap, And it's like, what do you care what we do? You're getting paid regardless, And I said that to her. I was like, "What do you care? You're getting paid." And she's like, "Well, I don't like when people make a mockery out of my what she's occupation." And I'm like, "I'm not making a mockery of it." And she's like, "If you're not making a mockery of it, then why don't you right now just take your paintbrush, dip it into black, and draw a straight line across your whatever it's called, canvas." And I just looked down at the colors, and I'm like, "Fuck it, I'm just gonna take a shot in the dark here." And I did not. It did not go in black. And as soon as I fucking pulled that brush up off of that the paint easel or whatever the hell it's called, the plate, like the paper plate with all the colors on it, she goes, "That's not black." She like fucking flipped out. And we kept it going as long as we could. Like a few more minutes after that, and then finally, like, she asked me to leave. She was gonna throw me out. And of course that would mean that Dulcie would have to leave too, because we rode there together, and I'm not going to sit around there and wait for her, and she knew that. So she was like, tell her. I'm like, "Why me tell her? You fucking tell her. You're the one that told me to keep it a secret." And so anyway, I told her. I was like, "Listen," I'm like, "I didn't want to say anything," and I played it off like, it was like a like a tough thing for me, like I was embarrassed by it. Um, and I was like, "Yeah," I'm like, I just didn't want to be humiliated. I'm embarrassed. I'm here for her, and she's like, "You're colorblind?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And she's like, "But you still came here because your girlfriend wanted you to?" And I was like, "Yeah." And she's like, "Oh my God, that's so sweet." And her whole attitude after that changed. She like got me a new plate with the colors on them and like wrote the names of the colors. And I was like, "Oh, well, what the fuck? Now I actually have to paint." And I don't know. I waited like another like 20 minutes and made up some excuse that was why we had to go. I mean, she was already done painting her picture. I mean, she's an artist. She, was just there because she likes art. And she didn't need to paint anymore. So we left. And this woman who like 20 minutes earlier was like berating me and telling me that I was making a mockery out of her life choices. Um she totally flipped the script, and she was like, "You two can come back anytime. Here's vouchers for 2 free classes each." I'm just like, "Oh, thanks." And then she gave me a box of Girl Scout cookies, which I was like, "All right, now I might come back." Like that was a nice touch there at the end. "Here's a box of Girl Scout cookies, you colorblind, you fat fuck. Maybe this will make you feel better about your life choices." I mean, I'm sure that wasn't what she was thinking, but I always think that everybody thinks like I do. Like, everybody has the same disposition that I do, and there's always some ulterior motive or some, like, hidden slight or indignation. Uh, but unfortunately, the whole world doesn't act like that, which I guess is a good thing. I can't imagine there being millions of people with my attitude and disposition just running amok all over the fucking globe. But yeah, colorblind painting class. It was funny for like 10 minutes, and then the instructor finally lost her nerve and started like calling me out, and then she really lost her nerve, and we came clean. She looked at me no longer as a villain and a disrespectful punk, but more as a top notch romantic. And I was just like, this bitch has got me all wrong. um, but this isn't the first time that I've, you know, done something that wasn't exactly something I should be doing. I guess you could say. When I was in college, um, this is when I was going to Long Beach State. I didn't know that the student passes, the college ID that they give you. I had no idea that that also doubled as your food card or a bus pass. Um, Clearly I didn't go to orientation. I was like, there's like 10,000 people here. How are they going to know if I'm here or not? Because it's supposed to be mandatory for all incoming or new students. But I didn't go. But had I gone, maybe I would have known that my student ID was a bus pass. So I when I first moved out here, when I first started going to Long Beach State, when I was living in Long Beach, um, I didn't really know the bus system that well, and I wasn't aware that you could buy like a day pass or a month pass. I just thought that every time you got on a bus, you had to pump in like $2, and I was like, "Fuck, I got to take like 3 buses there and back. That's 6 buses. That's $12. I don't want to do that every day." So I noticed one day that it's that blind people would just walk right on and nobody would say anything, and I was like, "Huh." I'm like, "That's interesting." So I was like, "Fuck it, I'll try it." So I went to one of those home med stores where they sell like walkers and bedpans. Like when a family member goes into hospice or something, it's basically where you go to get the shit that you see in hospitals. So, but for yourself. So I went in there and I bought a pair of those blind sunglasses. The ones with like the big blue blockers, but they cover like the side of your face too. Then I was like, wait a minute. I'm like, this isn't blind. Blind people just wear regular sunglasses. So I got both. I got those, and I also I gotten a pair of regular sunglasses, and I got one of those sticks that the blind people use to walk around with. And I pretended to be blind for about 4 months. I rode the bus everywhere for free. I actually would watch YouTube videos at home of blind people walking to get like the technique down. And I did this shit for like 4 months. And there was always this one bus driver who I knew was suspicious. Like I had a feeling that like she knew that I was faking. Like I was like, I think she knows. So I have to really ham it up when I'm here in this bus. And it was simple stuff that could have led to that. Like, you hear a certain like there's certain things you do that a blind person, like when you hear something, yeah, you look because your hearing is fine. Your hearing actually, I hear, is enhanced when you can't see because you're just focusing on the hearing rather than the seeing. But like, I think there was a time where like someone dropped something and I like picked it up and handed it right to him. Like a blind person definitely wouldn't be able to do that. Um. So anyway, but this is how I got caught, and it was that same bus driver. So one day, I get on the bus, I do my whole stick thing, and I think like there was a couple times where I like purposefully like whacked her with the stick, because like if you're onto me, and you're gonna rat, you better make sure that you're I'm not going down without a fight. Because like the thing is too is that like she can't just up and be like, I don't think you're blind. I think you're faking. Because what if I really am blind? She'd lose her job. And that's why I knew I kind of had her to like, in a checkmate. But here's where I fucked up. So I'm on the bus one day and I'm sitting there, and this fucking like hot, like this really hot, really really pretty, just gorgeous blonde girl gets on. Well, not like I mean like I like it's a certain kind of blonde that I like. She was this kind of blonde, like athletic body, about 5'6", 5'7", blonde hair back in a ponytail, just my ideal kind of girl. And she was really fucking cute. She like sat right across from me, and she was wearing a Primus t-shirt, which I was just like, wow. I'm like, I have to marry this girl. She's blonde, she's hot, she listens to Primus. I'm like, get the fuck out of here. And so I said something. I was like, hey, you like Primus? And I think she was kind of shocked that, well, how does this blind guy know I'm wearing a Primus t-shirt? And the bus driver, like on a dime, stops the bus and goes, I fucking knew it. She's like, I knew it. I knew you were faking. And then like, I look at the blonde girl. She goes, you're pretending to be blind? And I was like, yeah. I'm like, I go to Long Beach State. I can't afford to ride the bus every day. I live all the way in North Long Beach. And she's like, did you lose your student ID? And I'm like, no, it's right here. And she's like, that's a bus pass, dummy. And I'm like, oh. So, needless to say, I didn't get the girl, and I got kicked off the bus, and I had to make amends to the Long Beach public transit and to that bus driver. Oh my god, it was like it couldn't have been a worse way to get caught. Like I never even got that girl's name. I never got a number. Like this like the like absolutely my type of girl with a Primus t-shirt on. Oh, but once a woman that you think is cute sees you just doing some horrible human act, like pretending to be blind to ride the bus for free, and then to top it off, being such an idiot that I don't even know that my student ID that I have in my pocket what was the whole solution to this. But I don't know. I was just lazy, But the funny thing is that as lazy as I am, like I put a lot of work into pretending to be blind. When all I had to do was like go to my school's website, and I could have found out that my student ID was a bus pass. Um, but I don't know. I think I'm addicted to the thrill of being horrible. Oh man. But at least my problems are funny. Some people have problems and it's like really fucking depressing, and they're like telling me about it, and I'm like, oh man. I'm just like, all right, well, you want my advice? Like, honestly, dude, after what you just told me, you might want to kill yourself. Like that kind of depressing shit. Like I got a buddy. I'm not gonna say their name, but he like every week that I talk to him, he calls me every week. Like I don't know why. Um, and every time I ask him, like, hey man, I'm like, you don't have to call me every week. He goes, oh, I don't mind. And it's like, but the dude's like so fragile and like so like teetering on like the cusp of do I live or do I die? I don't want to be the one responsible for giving him that nudge over the cliff. Like I mean, if he killed himself, like I mean, I'm not going to feel bad. I just don't want to be the perpetrator that gave him that extra that last bit of like motivation that he needed. Um, but he'll like he'll call me every week, and in like and I haven't seen this dude in probably I don't know 5 or 6 years. He wasn't around the last time I went home. And then the time before that was the last time I saw him when I went home. So it's been about 5 or 6 years, and like over the span of like the last like 6 or 7 months, this dude like lost his job. He got fired from his job because they were doing budget cuts, and he's just one of these people that they figured, he'd be easy to fire. He's a pushover. You know, he gets taken advantage of all the time, and his work took advantage of. So he got fired from his job. Like a couple days later, like his car got stolen. He was trying to help out a friend who got stranded at the train station. The flight came in late, and she got, or he took a train from Logan Airport to South Station, but the plane was so late and delayed that all the trains running out of South Station to get back to Mansfield, the town that we lived in, weren't running. And like, I don't know, I guess their phone was dying, and like he just didn't have time to like do the Uber thing, or like, so anyway, he called them up, and he went all the way down there, but the dude's phone died, so he had to park his car and go look for him on foot, and because South Station's pretty big, and his fucking car got jacked while he was out looking for his friend to help out his friend. So then, like, he finds his friend. They get to the freaking parking lot, and his fucking car's gone. So that happened 2 days after he lost his job. And then his grandmother, who he lived with for many years and took care of, she died. and then his house that he was living in, he went upside down on this mortgage because he lost his job, and he had a bunch of bills and shit. Anyway, his house got foreclosed. So so I'm not making any of this up. So he had to move back in with his dad because his mom passed away like years ago. Yeah, and he's calling me and telling me about all this, and I was just like, well, each week, like one Saturday he called me and told me about his job, and then like the next Saturday he called me and told me about his car, and then he called me like on Monday like a Monday and told me that his grandmother died, and then he called me like a few days later and was like, dude, my house got foreclosed on. I gotta be out of here in 40 or 30 days, and I'm just like, dude, I'm like, do you own a gun? I'm like, I don't know what you're sticking around for, dude. Like, I don't know. It's and like, and this is probably gonna sound like a shitty thing to say, but I mean, it's the truth, so why not include it? He's not a very good looking dude either. Like, he's a really, really nice guy. Like, he has the kind of personality that a woman would dig if he had that personality on a better look, like with a better looking face. Um, so it's not like, you know, like if this shit was happening to me, and I know as a person who doesn't drink or do drugs anymore, I would just try to bury myself in a sea of pointless pussy. That's how I would deal with this shit. Just you know, sorrow fucking until I feel better. But he can't even do that because he looks like fucking Al Jolson. Oh, that poor kid. But yeah, I mean, we graduated high school together. I've known him since I'm in third grade. And he's one of my good friends. It's just like, and then this isn't just like a random like bad couple months of bullshit. Like bad things happening to good people. Like, this kind of shit goes on in this guy's life all the time. Like a couple years ago, he was at the dog park, with his dog and our friend Michelle, our mutual friend, this girl Michelle, and this other dog fucking like ran up to him and like nipped him on the leg. And his dog was like, fuck, what the fuck is that? And he fucking just bit through the other dog's neck. Because the dog had bit my friend and was about to do it again. And so his dog just fucking, fucking just basically killed the other dog. And they made him put his dog to sleep. And I mean, that was just like outrageous, man. Like, dude, like hundreds of people from the town, like, were like, no, that's bullshit. That dog was attacking him. His dog just protected him. And that other dog had a history of doing that shit. And it never got put to sleep because the owner of that dog is a cunt, for one. She's definitely a cunt. And her mother is an even bigger cunt, but she sits on the fucking city council in the town we grew up in. So, that's why that happened. But, oh man, people were sending her like death threats and shit. Like, oh, we're going to come to your house and we're going to fucking kill you. Like, oh, your dog's dead, but that's not enough. Like, it was some fucked up shit, dude. Because everybody liked this dog. His dog was cool. And this other dog's going around fucking ankle biting people and getting away with it. And finally, my buddy's dog was like, you know what? Fuck this little shitbag. Whatever the hell it was. What kind of breed was that dog? And it's like the worst breed for a small dog. It's like, everybody like knows a Vinny. Like the Vinny's the guy in the bar that's like 5'5", and like he's always got to like try to start a fight with the guy like my size, every time he just gets his fucking clock rung. Well, that's kind of like what this dog was like. Like, this dog was the Vinny of the canine world. Oh, it was like a half Pomeranian and a half something else. I don't remember the other half, but it was. I mean, I love dogs. But this dog, like, I wish I was there to see my buddy's dog end its life. Because those little fucking dogs with a big ego, I don't know, but yeah, that's so my point is that things that I do and problems that I have are funny, and sometimes other people who are nice people, their lives suck and their problems are shitty. It's just the way it goes. Not my problem, not my fault. I'm not the one who gave this dude his problems. Mine just happened to be, cheeky and fun, and the kind of problems where, like, if it ends one way or it ends another way, they're both going to be horrible outcomes. Like, no, it's not like that. Like, the pretending to be blind on the bus, like, the outcome was, okay, if I get caught, I'm going to get kicked off the bus. All right. Like, whatever. It's 2024. Like, there's other ways to get around besides a bus, And at the paint class, like, I knew that, it was going to be funny, like, not letting this person know that I was colorblind, but I didn't think about, like, maybe, like, she'll view this as me not taking her seriously. But even when that was the issue, like, when that was the problem that we were facing, like, what's the worst that could happen? I get thrown out of the paint class. I mean, this dude gets bit by another dog, and his dog mauls it, and his dog gets put to sleep. He loses his job. He loses his house. He goes to pick up his friend. His car gets stolen. Those are horrible outcomes. Horrible outcomes. And all my problems, these are all of my own making. Like, I'm the one that didn't disclose my color blindness, and I'm the one that pretended to be blind. Like, this dude, like, that's God, like, just laying some hate on this dude. You're going to lose your job. I'm going to take away your home. I'm going to take away your grandmother, who you were extremely close to, and I'm going to take away your car, and you got to move back in with your dad. Yeah. You always say nice people finish last. There might be some truth to that. One disadvantage that I do have in life, though, And I've again written these things down, written down notes of what I wanted to talk about, and like, oh, I found it. So, um, a lot of people that I speak to in life, whether they're my friends or people that I just come in contact with at work, um, which I try to avoid. I try to avoid talking to people that I don't have to talk to. Um, but a lot of people are blown away that I don't have Facebook. And I have no desire to have Facebook. I don't care about Facebook. My life is fine without it. Um, but where my disadvantages are with not having a Facebook, but this also, you know, I also have a way to turn this into a positive. So just bear with me on this. So, um, a lot of people, a lot of the population, I'd say at least half the population, probably more, have a Facebook page. Um, and uh, and when you have a Facebook page, I guess you have to put in your date of birth, and it'll pop up and show you that if you're friends with someone, it's their birthday. It's like, oh, it's so and so's birthday, and you can just make one click and wish them a happy birthday, and that's it. And you feel like, oh, okay, oh, I wish them a happy birthday. I don't have to do anything else. Um, so I'm at a big disadvantage because I don't know. I have to remember the dates on my important dates on my own, not just birthdays, but other things. But where this helps me though is if I do remember somebody's birthday, if I have it saved on my phone, or it gets brought up, a few days beforehand, um, then I feel like me calling somebody or getting them a gift and giving it to them, that shows an effort. Like getting up, going out of your way to recognize someone in your life, a friend in your life, with a birthday gift or a phone call or a text like, "Hey man, happy birthday," yada yada yada. Where with Facebook, like these people are getting these like little emotional um zaps because someone's like 400 people, you know, wrote happy birthday on their wall. And they're like, oh, we have 400 friends, 400 people said happy birthday to me. And I'm like, I guarantee you that 390 of those people have no idea who you are, or like what your phone number is, or they know where you live, or if you're in a relationship. Um, well, I guess you can figure that stuff out on Facebook, but the um, without the advent of Facebook or other social media, and I like that. I like that I don't know all these menial, stupid details about people. Like my buddy Jeff just had a birthday on a Friday, and we hung out Saturday. We got a cigar, and I got him a gift or whatever. But I have no idea how old he is. No fucking clue. Not an idea of how old he is. And that's fine. Like that doesn't make me like less of a friend. It just makes me someone that needed to remember the bare minimum. And I got him a gift, and he loved it. So it doesn't matter if I don't know if I think he could be 21 or fucking 31. I don't fucking know, and I'm sure he doesn't care either. I think he would much rather have the gift I got him and me not know how old he is than me remember how old he is and him not have the gift. So why don't you suck on that, Facebook? Uh, oh man, but the important things that I do need to remember, um, like my girlfriend's birthday, and well, I don't think the anniversary I need to remember because we've broken up like 6 times and gotten back together, so I don't think we even have an anniversary. I think like if we make it like a year, at least a year in between breakups, that's something worth celebrating. We could have a held it together long enough anniversary date. Um, and I think that we're both also addicted to that. Like Like you, we're both totally aware that no one else can stand to be with either one of us. You know, like we're the only people that can stand each other. Um, it's kismet. We're meant to be together. But that doesn't mean that we're not gonna just, make it as miserable and as difficult as we can for each other. You know, that's how we express love by just fucking browbeating each other and making ourselves as miserable about each other as we are affectionate. That's true love. When you can make somebody hate you and love you like in equal parts, that takes a lot of effort. That takes a lot of work, and I've got it down to a science. So that's just about gonna do it for this week. I had to postpone with Zach. We had some scheduling conflicting scheduling things come up, but let's see. Next week on Tuesday, we're planning to record, and every week I record a new episode on Tuesdays. It's New episodes are usually up on all the podcast platforms by Tuesday night, sometimes Wednesday morning, depending on how quickly I can get the editing done. And make sure that you follow us on Twitter at the ZE Podcast and on Instagram at not Instagram, Reddit at u/Two Sweet Lambruscos. And as always, if you want to start your own podcast and you want the tools to help you be successful, I recommend using what is the name of that sponsorship plug? I'm sorry, whoever you are. Burberry. No, not Burberry. That's a men's English clothing line. Let's see. I can't believe I don't remember the name. I do this like I've done this so many times, and I can't remember the name of the company. Let's see. If I can find it. Oh Jesus. If I don't do this, I don't get paid. So you're gonna have to bear with me. Here we go. I can't even find the email from them. Oh, Jesus. Let's see. Captivate. So if you want to start a podcast and you want to have the tools to be successful and I'm sorry, Captivate. And you want to have your podcast distributed to all major listening platforms and reach an extensive audience, I recommend Captivate.fm. They start you off with a 30-day free trial. They help you gain your first 100 listeners, which doesn't sound like a lot, but it's not easy to do. So if you want to try them out for free and get a 60-day trial instead of a 30-day trial, just go to captivate.fm/Two Sweet Lambruscos. Again, that's captivate.fm/Two Sweet Lambruscos. And they have a great platform, and I've been using them for years, and I'm very happy with them. And if you need to find a good plugin to record your podcast, to limit clipping and everybody hates, check out wavecentral.com or Wave Central. I am really off today with these fucking sponsors. Wave Central. and get the Clarity plugin, clarity.fm. It helps you produce a crystal clear sounding podcast. And anytime you use it, the more you use it, you gain points. And with those points, you can get other free plugins. So check out Clarity, the Clarity plugin through Wave Central. All right. Well, that's going to do it for this week. I hope that everyone enjoyed listening to this as much as I enjoyed making it. So, for Two Sweet Lambruscos, good night, Austin, Texas, wherever you are.